Goodness gracious, I didn't understand the leader of opposition speech. The idea is that he said there is a problem-solution gap. Madam Speaker, we need to take a look and analyze this deeply. The problem currently right now is the genetic reproduction, carrying HIV/AIDS through the babies. This creates a massive widespread of the HIV disease, Madam Speaker. How is reproduction? I really need to narrate this because apparently opposition does not understand how babies come up, Madam Speaker. You get married, you have sex, babies come up, Madam Speaker. That's the whole genetic process. Once it happens, the baby will definitely have AIDS, HIV, Madam Speaker. And we say that's the major problem. After marriage, these babies will have and will create a massive widespread of HIV, Madam Speaker. We say this is not a this is not a problem solution gap. This is not a problem solution mismatch, Madam Speaker. We say this is a way to tackle it directly, Madam Speaker. And we never said that we're going to stop HIV completely in Africa, Madam Speaker. We say this is a one step at a time process, Madam Speaker. Jared completely and clearly said that, Madam Speaker. I don't know where Cesar heard about that. Now the idea, and he said that you should actually put more law enforcement, Madam Speaker. We say law enforcement have already been implemented in Africa, Madam Speaker. It's already been improved, Madam Speaker. We say we need to tackle other side of the problem, Madam Speaker. We need to tackle towards the HIV reproduction, Madam Speaker. We need to tackle to the marriage side of HIV, Madam Speaker. And we say this is one of the steps that we need to take, Madam Speaker. Then, when they say that you can't force people and they need to be by voluntary basis, Madam Speaker, who in the world would actually say I have HIV to my spouse if you want to get married, Madam Speaker? Now we say this might happen in certain cases, Madam Speaker, but we do not want certain cases only, Madam Speaker. That means if it's only case per case basis, certain mishaps can still happen, and that means HIV would still have a widespread, Madam Speaker. We're stopping that completely so that people, the spouses, would actually know and would have actually have access towards this vital information, Madam Speaker. And what Cesar completely gave you this bunch of rights that he's actually being upholding: right to work, right to education, right to whatsoever. We said one right is what we're curtailing, and that too not completely, Madam Speaker. We said the right to marriage is the one we're curtailing, Madam Speaker, and that too not completely. One, we are not curtailing completely because if it's on the basis of the institution of marriage, which I will elaborate further in my substantive, it's what Cesar missed to say, Madam Speaker. It's what, wait, where was it? Here it is. Okay. In sickness and in health, until death do us part. Madam Speaker. In sickness and in health, when you actually want to get married with someone, you will stand by their side on sickness, Madam Speaker. Even though they're not healthy, you will stand by their side, Madam Speaker. Still in the walls. Until death do us part, Madam Speaker. If that person dies, you will stand by their side, Madam Speaker. That's on the basis of institution of love. That's the only one that's curtailing. If you want to actually get married, and if actually on the basis of love and not money, Madam Speaker, that's what you would actually go through. Right? Now, other than that, what Cesar said that this is a setback towards embracing circumstances, Madam Speaker. One, these ideas such as pills, such as condoms. People in Africa can't even afford condoms, Madam Speaker, and you're asking them to afford pills, Madam Speaker. And the idea of saying that it would completely erase and would stop from reproduction, Madam Speaker, that has never happened. Madam Speaker, in Slovakia, where this is already implemented, there is still a widespread of disease through free sex. Yes, we do agree. Through free sex, after the pills were given for free, Madam Speaker, after condoms were given for free, Madam Speaker, it's still there. We say these pills and condoms do not work, right? Now let's just go on to the case of opening government, which we would consider to be brilliant, Madam Speaker. Now I'm going to give you a brief stakeholder analysis. I'm going to give you 7 stakeholder analysis. We're going to talk about the HIV carriers, we're going to talk about the spouses, we're going to talk about the government, we're going to talk about the future kids, we're going to talk about the... wait, where's missing again? We're going to talk about the family, the society, and also institution of marriage. Now let's just first go to the HIV carriers, right? Now the idea of HIV carriers is we're minorly curtailing their whole right to marriage. But in the end, the one that we're protecting is their right to security. They are the one receiving scrutiny for the widespread of HIV in the status quo. Once we actually give them this help and protection from the government, that they are not actually going through the widespread of disease, that means the government is stopping them from widespreading HIV, Madam Speaker. This would actually help reduce the scrutiny, Madam Speaker, because the government is being seen as stopping them from getting married and widespreading the disease, Madam Speaker. This is a benefit as well as a harm towards the HIV carrier. And we say under this circumstance of the rights of these people are actually being upheld and curtailed at the same time. Comparatively, both the rights, if you compare, the more important rights is the right to give information towards these spouses, which have been spoken about by Jared before I continue.
A, it doesn't guarantee the information will help with the decision making anyway. But B, ladies and gentlemen, if the person decides to marry, ladies and gentlemen, and they decide to marry anyway, how is that stopping the widespread?
Okay, if they want to get married, at least the person actually knows the spouse has HIV. They would do any chance, any way from not getting the disease, Madam Speaker. And we say that's the best and the most crucial part of the information, Madam Speaker. And we say the information is not helpful. God knows where Hoka got that question from. Because once you know that spouse has an HIV, that would be very helpful because you would try as hard as possible not to get that disease, Madam Speaker. We say that's very helpful. Now, second, when you talk about the spouses, family Hoka made me go into that already. Now, this will ensure protection, of course, Madam Speaker, because once they know the government is actually on their side, Madam Speaker, the government is actually trying to protect them from getting the disease, Madam Speaker. This will for surely help the spouses to get married, Madam Speaker, because a lot of people in Africa are definitely scared to get married, Madam Speaker, knowing the amount of widespread of disease of HIV currently in the status quo, Madam Speaker. We think this is where it would benefit the spouses as well, Madam Speaker. Last, the government, the kids, right? The government will actually have an improvement of image. Madam Speaker, currently in the status quo, they have been giving out law enforcement and whatnot. But that has not impacted directly towards the society, Madam Speaker. The government will be seen as giving a direct helping hand towards society, Madam Speaker, which is going to improve the image of the government in the status quo, Madam Speaker. We say that's going to be a big benefit towards them as well. And the future, for the future kids, Madam Speaker, this is plain and quite simple, Madam Speaker. Once you actually prevent them, not prevent them, giving them information, it would actually stop from them having genetic diseases, Madam Speaker. Future kids from having genetic diseases, Madam Speaker. We say that's quite simple enough for everyone to understand, right? Now, last but not least, let's just talk about the families and the societies, Madam Speaker. Now, these ideas are indirectly at the family and towards the society. Giving free medical checkup definitely helps everyone, but on the second part, the family will know that that specific person has HIV and will try to help anyways. The amount of widespread towards that private sphere, the information widespread in the private sphere would actually be beneficial towards the person who has HIV. Last but not least, I spoke to you about the institution of marriage, Madam Speaker. In sickness and in health, till death was part.